Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In previous video, I have shown you how to add view pager in our app. Here you can see this, we have different stuff that is chats, status and calls. When I click on this, the fragment is changed according to that. When I click on calls, it's call fragment. When I click on status, it's status fragment. So I've shown all of these stuff in the previous video. So if you haven't watched that video, then just go to description. There I put the link for my previous video. Or you can simply do one thing, just click on the suggestion on the right side of the screen. Okay. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to actually fetch the records from the Firebase and show in our app like this one. In this app, here you can see this, I'm going to show you how to implement this chats. I can see the image and the names, image and name. This is visible because for this user, he or she has not updated his profile pic. That's why it is showing a default image which we have already uploaded or added in the drawable file. Okay, so I'm going to show this, all of these stuff in this video. So just close this, minimize this and start working on this. So first thing what I have to do is I'm going to add two dependency into this one, that is build.gridle. So double click on this and I'm going to add two dependency over here. One is to actually make the circular image. If you observe in this app that the image isn't circular, you can also put a square, but in WhatsApp it's still circular. So I'm going to use one dependency to implement this circular image view. Okay. And second dependency is used to fetch the image from the Firebase and show into this image view. So I'm going to use these dependencies. So move back to this one and you can visit this link, or you can simply type in the system like this one, circle image view Android dependency. If you click on this and select this first one, if you click on this one, you can move into this, and finally you have to just copy this part, just copy this one and move to your app and just make some space over here and paste it and click. Before I click on sync now, I have to actually add one more dependency. So move back over here, this one, that is Picasso, and with the help of Picasso we are going to actually fetch the image from the Firebase and show in our app. So I'm going to copy this and move back over here and paste it again and click on sync. Now this will actually download all this important stuff whatever required for our app. So now these two dependency are added. So I'm going to show you when I'm going to use this. I'm going to explain that this dependency is being used over here. Okay, so now the task for dependency is done. Next thing what we have to do is we have to add a recycler view. In the recycler view we are going to show each record. So now I'm going to move into this one, that is chats fragment, and inside this one I'm going to remove this text view. I don't need this because I'm going to add a recycler view into this one. So before I add recycler view, let me just add a background in this one. So I'm going to add a background for this. So background, and we have already in this one in the drawable, and I'm going to use this W2. And here you can see this, the image is set. In the previous videos I have already added and I have provided the link for all of these drawable file in the description of this video. Just download it and then you have to just put in this drawable. And here you can see this, we have this W2. If I double click on this, it will open over here. So I'm going to use this one. So close this and collapse this one, and now the image is set. After this, I'm going to add a recycler view into this one. So just like this recycler view, and height and width will be match parent and match parent. And I'm going to set ID for this one. So this will be chat recycler view, and just close this. Either you can close it by putting a slash over here, or simply you can close like this one. Okay, so I'm going to move forward with the first implementation type, that is by putting the slash over here. So now the task for this one is done. So I'm going to close this one. After this, we have to create a new layout. If I move back to our app, and here you can see this, this is a layout which is being set for each record which is being fetched from the Firebase. So I'm going to create a this much drawable file in which we are going to actually set the data. So I'm going to minimize this and I'm going to layout, just right click on this, and I'm going to create a new layout resource file. I'm going to name this one sample underscore show underscore user. Hit enter. This will create a drawable file. Just click on this one, split, and here first thing I'm going to just change this constraint layout to linear layout. After this, I have to set the orientation for this one. So we are going to put everything in the horizontal format. So I'm going to put the orientation to horizontal. Okay. After this, we have to put one image view, and we have already added a circular image view dependency. So I can simply type circular image view, and here you can see this on the first one, we find this circular image view. So I'm going to set the height and width to 96 dp and 96 dp. After this, I'm going to set ID for this one. So ID will be profile pic or profile image. After this, I'm going to set some margin. So I'm going to set the margin left to 5 dp. After this, I'm going to set some padding for this one. So padding will be of 5 dp from all sides. So when I type 5 dp, so it's adapt according to itself. And I'm going to set an image that will be the default image. So source at the rate drawable, and I'm going to use this aviator 3. We have the different images I have put into this one, like 1, 2, not 2, and 3. So I'm going to use this 3. Okay, you can use other also. So I'm going to set some border colors. So app colon civ underscore border underscore color. You have to manually type it. Hash in the double quotes, you have to type hash ff, and you have to type 000 6 times 0 like this one, and hit alt enter. After this, we have to set the border width. I'm going to set this one to 2 dp, and here you can see this. Now we have the border outside of this image, and this one is looking nice. So we have used one dependency. If you remove this dependency, that is circular image view, then we can't implement this circular image view. If I just remove this, let me just cut this one, and if I sync now, it will show error over here. So its synchronization is done, and here you can see this. Now the error is visible. So without this dependency, we can't use this. That's what I'm trying to show you. Okay, so now I have resynced it after pasting this circular image view. Now move back over here, and now issue is resolved. Okay, so now we need to add two text view. One is for last message, one is for username. So we are going to put that in one linear layout, because that's in vertical orientation. Here you can see this. We have the name and the last message in the vertical orientation. That's why we need one linear layout over here. So I'm going to create one linear layout over here, not like this, linear layout, and I'm going to set the width to match parent and the height to wrap content. I'm going to set the ID for this one. So ID will be, no, I'm not going to set the ID for linear layout. Okay, so this will be match parent for both. Okay, after this, I'm going to set the gravity for this one to center, and I'm going to set the orientation to vertical like this one, and we have to close like this and make some space, because between this we have to add two text views, so we can't close it with the slash over here. Okay, so I'm going to add one text view over here. So I'm going to add one text view, and the height and width will be match parent, and height will be wrap content. I'm going to set one ID for this one. ID will be user name list, and I'm going to add some padding from the top, and that will be of 5 dp. After that, I'm going to add some padding from bottom, that will be of 5 dp. After that, I'm going to set the text. For the default text will be Rohan Kumar, and you can put anything over here. And I'm going to set the text size to 18 sp, and I'm going to set the text style to bold, and I'm going to set the text color to black, because name is already in the bold, so that it look nice. So I'm going to, here you can see this, the name is over here. Why this one is happening? Because we have set the layout height to match parent by default. So I'm going to change this one to wrap content, so that now you can see this, the name is on the perfect position and looking nice. Next thing, we have to set one more text view for last message. So I'm going to add one text view over here. So height and width will be match parent, and height will be wrap content. I'm going to set an ID for this one. The ID will be last message. After this, I'm going to set a padding from the top. So I'm going to set this one to 2 dp. After this, I'm going to set the padding from bottom and again 2 dp, and I'm going to set the text for this one, that will be the last message. If you want to actually change the color of this one, or you want in the bold, then you can change it according over here according to your need. For me, this design is ready. Next thing after this, we have to create one model class. So we have already created one model class in the previous video, that is for users. So the task from actually to fetch the data and to show, we need one model. So we are going to use already created model, that is user. So we don't need to create a model. Okay, so now model is ready. We have to create one adapter. So right click on this, create new, and create one Java class, and I'm going to name this one users adapter, and click on enter. This will create one adapter over here. After this, inside this one, first thing we have to create a view model class. So for that, we have to just make some space over here, and I'm going to create one public class, and this will be the view holder, and this will extend recycler view dot view holder. Inside this one, we have to actually, in the this one, that is sample.show, we have two stuff, that is one is ImageView and one is username and one is last message. So we are going to implement that. So ImageView, I'm going to name this one image, and two text views, that is user name and last message, like this one. If I click on this one is showing an error. Just click on this, create constructor matching super. Just click on this. This will create a constructor like this. We need to, if you have this much of code, then just remove it. We don't need it. After this, just make some space into this one. And here we have to set this image is equal to item view dot find view by id r dot id dot profile. We have set the profile. Okay, so it's showing an error. Just we have to, because we haven't imported the library for this one, so alt and enter. Okay, now the issue is resolved, and press this serial in space. This is profile image. Just press the serial key and click on this, and here you can see this is the id. This profile image id is for this one. So now we have make a connection with that one. Just close this. After this, user name is equal to item view dot find view by id r dot id dot, and that is username list. After this, we have last message, so is equal to item view dot find view by id r dot id dot last message, like this one. Now the task for view holder is done. After this, what we have to do is we have to move back to the top over here, and here we have to extend recycler view dot adapter. Inside this one, we have to pass users adapter dot view holder. We have to pass this one. This is the current class where we are. So this is users adapters. We have written this, and from this user adapter, while we put this dot over here, then we can access this view holder. So I have passed this one. After this, we have to make some space. Just click on this implement method and select all of these three and click on OK. This will implement all three methods. Okay, so now we have to remove this much part. If you don't have this, then it's totally fine. Just delete like this one. Okay, after this, what we have to do is we have to create two variables over here. One is of array list, not array, it's array list. Inside this one, it's of users types. We have already created the user model in the previous video, so I'm going to use this, and I'm going to name this one list, and one context we need. So context, and I'm going to name this one context. After this, I have to create a matching constructor for this one. So for that, you can type alt or insert, and if I click on alt insert, let me just, yeah, here you can see this. Just click on constructor, select these two, and click on OK. Either you can do like this, or right click on this, generate, and you can click on constructor and select these two. Okay, so now the task till here is done. Now the constructor is ready. After this, on the onCreate view holder, inside this one, we have to create a view and return the view holder, return the view. So I'm going to delete this. It will show an error temporarily because we haven't returned anything. So on create view holder, first I'm going to create a view of type view. Here for the first one, V is capital, and the second one, V is small. So don't get confused on that one. So layout inflator dot from where we need to take this one. So we need to pass this context from here. After this, we have to type dot inflate, and here we have to pass the layout. So layout dot, and we have created a layout that is sample show user. If you have given the name anything different, then you have to write the same name over here. Okay. So now we have passed this one, and we have passed parent as second argument and false as third argument. Okay. So now this one is done. Next thing, we have to simply return this view, new view holder, and we have to pass the view like this. Make sure V is small over here, not capital. Okay, now this task is done. Next thing, we have to make a small changes on this one, that is on view holder. Here we have to create a users and is equal to, and we have to get this from the list dot get, and here we have to pass the position. After this, I'm going to use, we are actually going to get all the list of the users which are available in Firebase database, and after this I'm going to use the Picasso. For that, we have already added the dependency. So if I type Picasso here, because it's showing in our system. If you can't able to find it, you have made some mistake while adding a dependency, so recheck it. Dot get, and here we have to load this image. So load, we have to pass users dot get profile pic. After this, we have to pass placeholder. If there is no image, then press placeholder drawable dot, I'm going to use this aviator 3 dot into holder dot image. If there is no image, then we are going to pass this default image for that one. Okay, after this I'm going to set the username. So username dot set text, and from where we get the name text, so users dot get user name. Just close this. After this, we have to simply make a small change over here. So we have to pass the list, how many count, that how many records are there. So I'm going to simply get it from the list dot size. Okay, so now the task in our users adapter is done. Okay, so now we have created the adapter. We have set the view, that is sample show user. We have actually fetched the placeholder, fetch the image and set into this particular image view, and we have also set the text, the username for that one. Now we have to move into the chats fragment. So move into this one, fragments, and make this one chats fragment. So I'm going to clean up these code because I don't need these. So clean all these stuff. I'm going to delete all these. Okay, and I'm going to delete this one also. Okay, so now first thing what we have to do is, we don't need to delete this one because this is required, the chats fragment, this is a constructor. Okay, after this I'm going to create a fragment binding for this one. So fragment chats binding, this one, and I'm going to name this one binding. After this I'm going to create an array list, and this is of type users. After this I'm going to name this one list. It's showing an error because we haven't imported the class. So import class list is equal to new array list, like this one. After this I'm going to create a Firebase database instance because we are going to fetch the data. So database. Okay, inside this on create view, I'm going to make some space over here, and here we have to first bind this one. So binding is equal to fragment chats binding dot inflate, and here we have to pass inflator comma container comma false, just semicolon. After this we have to initialize this database. So database is equal to, we have to get the instance. So Firebase database dot get instance, like this one. After this we have to create a user adapters. So users adapter is equal to new users adapter, and inside this one we have to pass the list and dot get context. We have to pass the context, and we got the list, so we have to pass this list. Okay, after this now we have the user adapter. Inside this one we have to bind this. So binding dot chat recycler view dot set adapter. Inside this one we have to set the adapter. So pass this adapter inside this one. Okay. After this, we have to create a linear layout. So linear layout manager and is equal to new linear layout manager. Inside this one, we have to pass the context. So get context. After this, we have to binding dot chat recycler view dot set layout manager, and we have to pass this layout manager. So now the task till here is done. Okay, so we have set the layout manager for this particular char recycler view. Okay, just chat recycler view. I've just written something wrong. The name is wrong over here. So if I move back over here, so it's char. So I'm going to change this one to chat recycler view. If I move back into this one, and I'm going to change this one to chat recycler view. Okay. After this, what we have to do is we have to create a database like this one, database dot get reference dot childs, and from where we are going to extract the data from users. This is our first root table, a root data in our Firebase. So let me just open that. And here we go to the Firebase real-time database, and this is BD chat video. So if I move back over here, this is the users, this is the root. From here, first I use this, the child, and from the user's child is this ID. So I'm going to take this one first, and then with the help of this ID, we are going to identify each user. So move back to our app, and here we have to child dot add value event listener, and set this one new value event listener. Okay, so now our event listener is added. So we have to code, it's showing an error, just put a semicolon over here and just remove this much of code from each of these methods. After this, inside this on data change, here we have to first clear the list. So list dot clear, we are going to fetch all the data and put into this list. Okay, so for this is a for loop, and I'm going to use this data snapshot. I'm going to use this advanced for loop. So data snapshot, and just put colon snapshot dot get children. So its children is the IDs. Okay, so I'm going to create a users is equal to data snapshot dot get value, and I'm going to take this users dot class. After this, I'm going to pass this users dot set user ID, and I'm going to pass this data snapshot dot get key. We are going to fetch the key. Now we got the key, and after this, okay, so now the task is done, and okay, the issue is resolved. Okay, so it's showing an error. I'm going to remove this much part also, and I'm going to restart the application, and let's check what will happen with the, this is WhatsApp 1. So we are not coding on this one, we are coding on BD chat. So it will, Gradle build is running now, installation is done, installation, and now it's open. And here you can see this, now the background is set and it's loading the image or the content. Okay, let me close this once again and let me open it manually. So click on this one. Okay, so actually we haven't returned the view. So if I move back over here, I just need to remove this, and we have to pass binding dot get root. We have to pass this and restart the application, and let's check now if this one is visible or not. Okay, still we are having some issue. Okay, so this one is here, like this one. Okay, so after this we need to actually put this one notify dataset changed and just restart it, because initially it's after adding the data, it's not notifying the dataset of this adapter is changed or not. So if I put this, now let's see. Let me just log out once, and after that I'm going to log in. sign in with Google. Let's check the logcat if we have any error into this one. So I'm going to restart the application and let's check it. Okay, so we don't have any error. Okay, I guess we have missed something somewhere. So I'm going to check it once again. Okay, so our data is not loading because we haven't added this users to this list. So I'm going to add it. So list dot add, and I'm going to use this add this users and put the semicolon and restart the application and let's check it. So I've restarted the application, and this time here you can see this, we have ABC, btechdays and ABC. So one issue is remaining. If I log out and if I log in with Google, and here you can see this again, we are logged in with btechdays and still it's showing our self the btechdays over here. So what I want is I only want to view only those. I want to hide myself from this chat. Okay, so how to do that? For that I have to check that for myself. Okay, so here you can see this, we are adding all the records over here into the list. Okay, so I'm going to check this. If not users dot get user id dot equals Firebase database, not Firebase database, Firebase auth dot get instance dot get uid. If this one is not equal, then only we want to add this in the user list. So I'm going to just cut this and I'm going to paste it over here. That is list dot add users. So just restart the application and let's check this time if this btechdays is visible over here or not. This is BD chat and restart the application, and here you can see this. Now we have two ABC. You must be confused that why we have two ABC while we can't sign up with the same email ID, but we can have the same username. So if I move back over here and just expand these all, and here you can see this, the name is ABC over here and ABC, but the email ID is different for these. So I'm going to change the name for this one. So this is ABC, and I'm going to change this one to D and hit enter. If I move back over here you can see this, now the name is changed. So now I'm signed in with btechdays. That's why btechdays is not visible over here. If I log out and if I sign with another account, that is abc@gmail.com, and password is 123456, and sign in over here, and here you can see this, now btechdays is visible and abcd is visible. So this one is working fine. If you want to keep it yourself in the chat so that you can send text to yourself to keep a record of your own text messages, then you can just ignore this line of code. You can just remove this if condition and just remove this one. So now you will find yourself in this recycler view. So that's it for this video, guys. In the next video I'm going to show you how to set a click listener on this one particular view, and it will open a new activity. So just stay tuned, subscribe and share with your friends, and thanks for watching.